Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Bank Shop Breakdown. We're going to go over 5 college basketball games for Tuesday, March 4th, 2025. Now, if you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, the games I love the most, including my top play in college basketball each day, my Bank Shop Best Bet, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Tuesday in college basketball. First up, we'll go to the Horizon League Conference Tournament, the first round game between Detroit Mercy and Northern Kentucky. This one is going to be 7 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be on ESPN+. The Horizon League, the Sun Belt, the Patriot League starting conference tournament play on Tuesday. I really like conference tournament play almost as much as the big dance itself, as this is what March is all about. In March Madness, we'll see who moves on and whose season ends in this one. I think the season is going to end for the Titans in this one. I think Northern Kentucky wins and wins pretty comfortably. When you look at the Norths, they're in great form right now. They're playing their best basketball this season. 4 straight wins, 5 of their last 6. Some really comfortable victories, some upset wins as well. And this is a Northern Kentucky team that shot quality-wise has been strong basically all season defensively. They force a lot of turnovers. They're a disciplined team. The offense has been a problem at times, but we've seen the offense get going in a big way recently. 80 points against Wright State, 79 against Purdue-Fort Wayne, 88 against Youngstown State in their most recent game. I think Northern Kentucky is going to be able to score at will. I think their defense is going to cause a lot of fits for Detroit Mercy. We know it's been a struggling season for the Titans, but it's really not been great in the last few games. Losing to Green Bay and failing to cover, losing by 22 to Milwaukee in the last game of the season. I think we see another blowout loss in this one. Give me the Northern Kentucky Norse in this game. Next up, we have Green Bay and Oakland. This one is going to be 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+, another first-round game in the Horizon League tournament. Now, it's not easy going against Oakland in this tournament game, especially with Greg Kampe as the coach. And we know Oakland is the defending champions of the Horizon League. They not only won the conference tournament and made it to the big dance, but also pulled off a major upset in the first round last year with a win over Kentucky. The problem is this year's team nowhere near as experienced and, in my opinion, as talented as last year's roster. And I do think that Green Bay is going to be able to compete in this one just like they did in the last meeting of the regular season, the final game of the regular season, just on Saturday. I mean, these teams just played on Saturday. It was an overtime game, very competitive, entertaining ball game. Green Bay was outshot from both 2-point and 3-point range and was still able to keep it close and able to force extra time. Green Bay has a big advantage at the free throw line in this game. They're one of the best free throw shooting teams in the country, actually, top 15 in the nation, while Oakland, as a team, 69%, ranked 288th. So if this is a close game late and you're looking for some extra free throws to get you the cover on the favorite, I don't really love Oakland's chances there. I think Green Bay going to be able to cash in on its opportunities from the charity stripe. Also, Green Bay in general, I think their defense has improved down the stretch. They're taking better shots. They're scoring more points, and I like their chances to keep this game within the number. I think Oakland finds a way to win. I think Green Bay covers. Next up, we have Creighton and Seton Hall. This one is 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1. Now, I've mentioned a few times, I'm not in love with this Creighton team this year. I think they've had some much more talented teams in previous seasons, and I don't expect a crazy run in the postseason, whether it's the Big East tournament or beyond, this year for the Blue Jays. And I don't want to be laying this many points on the road against a revenge-minded, solid defensive team like Seton Hall. I know Seton Hall's really struggled this year on the offensive side, but shot quality-wise, they're a strong defense. They force a ton of turnovers, which is a problem for Creighton. This is a team that's turned the ball over about 18% of their possessions. They're ranked 250th in the nation in turnover percentage this year. When you're playing on the road and you're probably going to lose a turnover battle in a big way, that could be a big-time problem. And, Seton Hall in general in the last few games, playing some of their more competitive basketball that we've seen in conference play. We saw the overtime win over UConn. Then they took that bad loss against Marquette, but then kept it close against Xavier, against Villanova, and even the game against St. John's in that last one on the road. 10-point final score in a game at St. John's. It was actually a tie game with 10 minutes to go in the second half. So that was a competitive ball game. I think Seton Hall does enough to keep this game within the number, maybe even pull off the outright upset. Give me the points with Seton Hall in this game. Next up, we have Eastern Michigan and Ohio. This one is going to be 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+. I've mentioned a few times, I think Ohio is a really underrated team. They're my pick to win the MAC this year, and we've seen them earn wins against Akron and Miami, Ohio, two of the better teams in the conference in some of their recent games, and both of those were at home, and this is another home game here. Ohio's been excellent at home this season. Only one home conference loss, only 2 home losses in general this season. And the one conference loss to Toledo was a 3-point game, 86-83. So Ohio is very tough to beat when they're playing at home. And we've seen some wins. We've seen some blowout wins, like the win against Akron. I mean, they were a 2.5 point, 3.5 point dog. They win that game by 17 points, 84-67. This is a home team playing with revenge, in good form. I like their chances in this one to pull up the win and the blowout victory for the cover. Next up, we have Baylor and TCU. This one is 8 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be on ESPN+. Now, we mentioned a few times with teams like Seton Hall and Ohio, teams playing with revenge. It's the same case for a Baylor in this one. They're playing with revenge, but the first meeting, the first loss of the season was actually a home game. We haven't seen Baylor lose too many home conference games, especially against teams outside the top 50 or top 75 in KenPom in recent years, but that was the case for the Baylor Bears in that game on January 19th. 74-71 the final score. It's definitely not been the best season for Baylor. Nowhere near as talented as a roster or as healthy a roster as we've seen this team or this program put together in the last decade. But I still think this is a very solid team. I think they're an underrated team right now because of their record on paper. They're coming off the win over Oklahoma State, the get-right victory by 10 points. Shot quality-wise, still a very strong team, one of the best coached teams in college basketball. I think their offense is potent enough in this game to get the revenge, get the win, and get the cover. TCU, for me, just not one of my favorite teams to back because while they do have a strong defense, the offense just hasn't been there consistently. They're not a good shooting team, especially from the free throw line, one of the worst in the country at 65%. I don't think they score enough in this game to keep up. Give me Baylor on the road in this one. And that's it. Those are the games for Tuesday in college hoops. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Romanelli. Good luck.